Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to change your life, you must first change the way you think. You can't think broke and expect to live rich. You can't think small and expect to live big. You can't see limits and expect to walk into abundance. The truth is simple. You either think abundance or you stay broke forever. Many people believe wealth is just about money, but money is only a reflection of your mindset. If your mind is filled with scarcity, fear, and doubt, no amount of hustle will make you truly rich. You'll always find yourself chasing, struggling, and coming up short. Why? Because you're living out of a cup that you believe is empty. But when you think abundance, when you believe there's more than enough, suddenly the world opens up. Suddenly you see opportunities where others see obstacles. Suddenly you become magnetic to resources, people, and possibilities. Scarcity thinking is dangerous. It whispers, there's not enough. It convinces you to play small, to hold back, to settle for crumbs when you could have the feast. Scarcity thinking keeps people stuck in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and lives that never grow. It's like living in a prison with the door wide open. You could walk out at any moment, but you're trapped by your own beliefs. That's why abundance begins with the mind. Change your thinking, and you change your entire life. Abundance also starts with gratitude. If you can't appreciate what you already have, how can you expect more? Gratitude turns little into enough and enough into overflow. Gratitude is the soil where abundance grows. Every time you say, thank you, you're planting seeds for more blessings. Every time you focus on what's right instead of what's missing, you train your mind to see plenty. And when your mind sees plenty, your life begins to reflect it. Opportunities are everywhere, but only abundant thinkers can spot them. Two people can look at the same situation. One sees failure, the other sees a fortune. The difference is mindset. Abundant thinkers ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Where's the gift hidden in the struggle? And because they ask better questions, they get better answers. When you think abundance, you don't just survive, you thrive. But abundance doesn't come without investment. You must invest in yourself. Read the books, take the classes, sharpen your skills, and surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Your mind is your greatest asset, but if you neglect it, it will keep you broke. Every time you grow, you raise your value, and when you raise your value, you attract abundance. Don't be cheap with your future. Invest in it. Finally, understand that wealth isn't just about money. True abundance is freedom. It's waking up excited about life. It's having peace in your heart, love in your relationships, health in your body, and yes, money in your pocket. Abundance is about living full and giving freely. When you live abundantly, you stop hoarding, you stop fearing, and you start sharing. And the more you give, the more flows back to you. So today I challenge you, stop thinking broke, stop thinking small, stop thinking scarcity. Think abundance, think overflow. Because until you change your thinking, you'll never change your living. And the truth remains, think abundance or stay broke forever. Your mindset determines your money flow. The condition of your thoughts is the blueprint for the condition of your life. You can have talent, you can have ambition, you can even have opportunities placed in front of you. But if your mind is stuck in a broke mentality, none of it will matter. Because here's the truth. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you see yourself as someone destined to struggle, someone who always just gets by, then life will keep proving you right. Your wallet will reflect your worries, your bank account will echo your beliefs, and your opportunities will shrink to the size of your vision. Every wealthy person didn't just stumble into abundance. They thought their way into it before they had it. They saw wealth in their minds long before they saw it in their hands. They believed they were worthy of more, capable of more, and destined for more. And because they believed it, they acted differently. They took chances other people were too afraid to take. They invested in themselves when others played it safe. They moved with confidence while others hesitated. That's why mindset is the foundation. Without it, every other strategy collapses. Think about it. Money flows to clarity and confidence. If you don't believe you deserve abundance, you won't chase it with conviction. You'll settle for small paychecks, toxic jobs, and limited opportunities because you secretly believe that's all you're worth. But when you shift your mindset, when you tell yourself, I am worthy of wealth, I am capable of greatness, I am destined to live abundantly, something changes. Suddenly, your energy shifts. You carry yourself differently. You speak differently. People sense that energy and opportunities gravitate towards you. Let me put it plainly. If you want to increase your money, increase your mindset. You can't pour abundance into a broke way of thinking. You have to train your thoughts to see possibility instead of problems, to see opportunity instead of obstacles. When your mindset is abundant, you'll stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "How can I afford this?" One keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. Now let's talk about scarcity thinking, because this is the silent thief of dreams. Scarcity is the mindset that says, there's never enough. It convinces you that life is a competition, that someone else's win is your loss, that resources are limited and you better grab your slice before it's gone. Scarcity keeps people small, not because they don't have potential, but because they've convinced themselves that there's not enough potential to go around. Scarcity thinking shows up in how you spend money, how you treat others, and how you see yourself. People with scarcity mindsets hoard, they cling, they hesitate, they don't invest in themselves because they fear losing what little they have. They don't support others because they think success is a pie with only so many slices. They don't chase dreams because they believe the risks are too great and the rewards are too slim. And the tragedy is, they create the very lack they fear. Scarcity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The world is full of people stuck in this trap. They work jobs they hate because scarcity says, at least you have something. They ignore their gifts because scarcity whispers, what if you fail? They hold back their ideas because scarcity screams, someone else will take it and there won't be room for you. And while they live in fear, opportunities pass them by. They don't realize abundance isn't about resources, it's about perspective. There is enough money. There are enough opportunities. There is enough success. But you'll never see it if your mind is chained to scarcity. The difference between those who rise and those who remain is not luck, it's mindset. The abundant thinker sees doors opening everywhere. The scarcity thinker sees nothing but walls. The abundant thinker invests in growth. The scarcity thinker clings to survival. The abundant thinker collaborates, celebrates, and multiplies. The scarcity thinker competes, compares, and divides. And here's the harsh truth. If you live in scarcity long enough, you will stay broke forever. Not because you lacked resources, but because you lacked vision. So if you want to change your reality, start with your thinking. Break the chains of scarcity. Refuse to believe in limits. Train your mind every day to see plenty, to expect increase, to welcome opportunity. Because as long as you think broke, you'll stay broke. But when you think abundance, you open the floodgates of possibility. And that shift in mindset, that choice to think abundance, can change everything about your life. Abundance begins with gratitude for what you already have. Most people don't understand this principle because they've been conditioned to believe abundance is something you chase, something you fight for, something you only deserve once you've reached a certain level of success. But abundance is not a destination, it's a mindset. And the doorway to that mindset is gratitude. Gratitude says, I may not have everything I want, but I honor what I do have. Gratitude takes a small beginning and makes it feel like overflow. Gratitude is the soil where the seeds of prosperity grow. Think about this. How can you expect more when you don't appreciate what you already have? When you complain about your job, your money, your relationships, your circumstances, what you're really telling life is, I don't value this. And when you don't value what you have, you lose it. But when you express gratitude, you tell life, I honor this gift, I respect this opportunity, I'm ready for more. Gratitude attracts increase. Complaining repels it. I've seen people with very little live with great joy because their hearts were grateful. And I've seen people with so much live in misery because they were blind to what they had. Abundance is not about quantity, it's about perspective. A grateful heart turns little into enough and enough into overflow. When you wake up and say, thank you, before you scroll your phone, before you count your worries, before you rehearse your problems, you begin to shift your energy. You train your mind to focus on blessings instead of burdens. And whatever you focus on expands. Gratitude opens your eyes to possibilities. You start to notice opportunities that were invisible before. Why? Because you're no longer trapped in complaining. You're no longer rehearsing scarcity. You're vibrating on a higher level. Gratitude makes you magnetic to good things. The people you meet, the conversations you have, the decisions you make, everything begins to align when your heart is grateful. Gratitude also builds resilience. Life will hit you hard, no doubt. You will face setbacks, losses, disappointments. But if you can be grateful even in the storm, you'll discover that storms don't last, but strong hearts do. Gratitude gives you the strength to say, this hurts, but I'm thankful I'm still here. I may be down, but I'm not out. I may have lost something, but I didn't lose everything. And that perspective is what keeps you moving forward when others quit. If you want abundance, start a gratitude practice. Write down what you're thankful for. Speak it out loud. Look at the little things and celebrate them. The more grateful you are, the more reasons life will give you to be grateful. Gratitude is the foundation, and without it, every pursuit of abundance is shallow and short-lived. Opportunities multiply when you train your mind to see them. Every single day, doors are opening around you. But whether or not you walk through them depends on your vision. Most people don't miss opportunities because they weren't there. They miss them because they weren't looking. They were too busy focusing on problems, too busy rehearsing excuses, too busy living in fear. Opportunity is invisible to the untrained eye, but it becomes obvious to the mind conditioned for abundance. An abundant thinker looks at the same situation as a scarcity thinker, but sees something completely different. Scarcity says it can't be done. Abundance says there must be a way. Scarcity sees failure. Abundance sees feedback. Scarcity sees obstacles. Abundance sees stepping stones. That's the difference between people who rise and people who remain. It's not that one had better luck. It's that one had better vision. When you train your mind to look for opportunities, you start asking different questions. Instead of asking, why me? You ask, what can I learn? Instead of asking, what if I fail? You ask, what if this works? Those questions change the direction of your life, because the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. Opportunities are not reserved for the privileged, the lucky, or the chosen few. They're everywhere for everyone. But you only see them when you believe they're there. And once you see them, you must act on them. Abundant thinkers don't just recognize opportunities, they move on them. They understand that hesitation costs, that fear delays, and that indecision is the thief of destiny. You've got to train your mind daily to see the good, the possible, the potential. Read, listen, surround yourself with people who think big, who challenge you, who inspire you. Because the company you keep influences the opportunities you see. If you're around small-minded people, you'll only see small opportunities. But when you're around big thinkers, you'll learn to stretch your vision. Opportunities multiply when you take action. The first door leads to the second, and the second to the third. Each step you take reveals paths you never knew existed. But you'll never see the third door if you're too afraid to walk through the first. That's how abundance works. It rewards action, courage, and vision. So don't say there are no opportunities. They're everywhere. The real question is, are you training your mind to see them? Because if you do, you'll realize abundance is not a miracle. It's a mindset. Invest in personal growth. Your mind is your greatest asset. Too many people want wealth, success, and freedom, but they neglect the very tool that creates those things, their mind. If your mind is weak, your money will be weak. If your mind is undisciplined, your life will be chaotic. If your mind is underdeveloped, your potential will remain buried. You cannot live a rich life with a poor mindset. That's why the greatest investment you will ever make is not in stocks, real estate, or business. It's in yourself. When you invest in yourself, you're saying, I am worth it. You're declaring that your growth matters more than your comfort, that your future is worth more than your fears, that your dreams deserve more than excuses. Every book you read, every seminar you attend, every skill you sharpen, these are deposits into the bank of your future. And the beautiful thing is, no one can steal it from you. They can take your money, your possessions, even your job, but they can never take what you've placed inside your mind. Look around. The most successful people in the world are lifelong students. They are constantly learning, constantly stretching, constantly upgrading their mindset. Why? Because they understand that the world is changing. And if you don't grow, you get left behind. Too many people stop learning after school. They think a diploma is the finish line, when in reality, it's just the starting point. If you want to live abundantly, you've got to make growth a lifestyle, not an event. And growth requires sacrifice. It may mean spending money on courses instead of entertainment. It may mean waking up early to read while others sleep. It may mean stepping into rooms where you feel uncomfortable because you're surrounded by people who are ahead of you. But discomfort is the birthplace of growth. You can't expand by staying safe. You can't grow by staying the same. Investing in personal growth also means investing in your environment. Who you surround yourself with is shaping your mindset, whether you realize it or not. If you hang around people who complain, who gossip, who make excuses, their scarcity mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with dreamers, doers, and achievers, you'll start to think bigger, aim higher, and expect more. Growth is contagious, but so is mediocrity. Choose wisely. So, ask yourself, what books are you reading? What mentors are you following? What skills are you building? How much time are you investing daily in becoming the person who deserves the abundance you desire? Because the truth is, success doesn't come to the person who wants it most. It comes to the person who is prepared for it. Preparation is proof of belief, and the best preparation is personal growth. Wealth is not just about money, it's about living fully and giving freely. Too many people equate abundance with a bank account. But there are rich people who are miserable, and there are people of modest means who are overflowing with joy. True abundance isn't just financial. It's mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. It's about living a life so full that it overflows into the lives of others. Abundance means freedom, the freedom to spend your time with people you love, doing things that matter without being chained to survival. Abundance means health, the energy to pursue your dreams, to travel, to enjoy life without being weighed down by sickness or stress. Abundance means peace, the kind of inner calm that no amount of chaos can steal. And yes, abundance includes money because money gives you options. But money is not the whole picture. You can have money and still feel broke if you lack purpose, love, or joy. The most abundant lives are lived by givers. Because here's the paradox, the more you give, the more you receive. Scarcity says, hold on tight, there's not enough. Abundance says, give freely, there will always be more. When you help others rise, you rise with them. When you share your gifts, your wisdom, your time, your resources, life has a way of multiplying it back to you. Abundance flows through you, not just to you. Living fully means you don't hold back. You don't settle for half-lived dreams or half-felt emotions. You throw yourself into life with passion, with courage, with faith. You laugh louder, love deeper, risk greater. Because abundance isn't just about what you accumulate, it's about who you become in the process. And giving freely doesn't always mean money. It can mean encouragement, kindness, service, mentorship, love. Sometimes a word spoken at the right time is more valuable than a dollar bill. Sometimes a helping hand is worth more than a check. True abundance is measured not by what you keep, but by what you contribute. So when you think of abundance, don't limit it to money. Think bigger. Think about a life where you wake up excited, where you're surrounded by love, where your health is strong, your mind is sharp, your spirit is at peace. And yes, your bank account is full enough to give you freedom. That is real wealth. That is true abundance. And that is what you deserve when you train your mind, invest in your growth, and live a life that gives as much as it receives. Would you like me to now craft the conclusion for this full speech, like we did for your previous ones, so it ends with a powerful, memorable impact? Abundance is not just about money, it's about mindset, growth, and the willingness to live fully and give freely. Life will always test you, but the way you think determines whether you stay stuck in scarcity or rise into overflow. You were not born to just survive, you were created to thrive. The truth is, if you think scarcity, you'll stay broke in every area of life. But if you think abundance, if you commit to personal growth, if you choose to live with purpose, passion, and generosity, then nothing can stop you from building a life of freedom, joy, and impact. The decision is in your hands right now. Think abundance, live abundance, and you'll never be broke a day in your life again.